II lives deep within the dense, tropical forests of Madagascar, shrouded in mystery and darkness. II spends the daylight hours hidden inside hollow trees or among dense leaves, wrapped in quiet solitude. II emerges only after dusk, when the sun disappears and the forest becomes a shadowy realm filled with whispers and movement. II carefully scans the surroundings with large, luminous eyes built perfectly for night vision. II steps gently onto tree branches, sensing vibrations and distant sounds as cues for safety or danger. II begins the nightly quest for food using an extraordinary adaptation, a long, thin middle finger uniquely suited for tapping and detecting insects beneath bark. II taps branches rapidly, listening intently for the echo that reveals hidden grubs or larvae inside wood. II then uses powerful rodent-like teeth to gnaw open bark and digs into the cavity with precision. II inserts the slender finger into tight spaces to extract the nutritious prey, demonstrating one of nature's most unique feeding behaviors. II repeats this process dozens of times throughout the night, moving from tree to tree in silent, methodical rhythms. II also consumes fruits, seeds, and coconuts, cracking tough shells with formidable jaws. II showcases impressive agility while climbing, using long fingers and sharp claws to grip even the thinnest branches. II balances effortlessly using a thick, bushy tail that acts as a counterweight and warming blanket during colder hours. II travels alone, rarely encountering other IIs except during brief mating periods. II marks territory using scent glands located on cheeks and genitals, rubbing against bark to create invisible borders. II becomes territorial if another II intrudes, expressing warning signals through vocalizations and rapid movement. II's senses are finely tuned, even the faintest sound or movement triggers instinctual responses. II possesses a brain well adapted to spatial memory, remembering locations of fruiting trees and hidden feeding spots. II engages in hours of nocturnal foraging, sometimes covering vast distances through the canopy in search of sustenance. II avoids predators through stealth and acute awareness, blending into the shadows with charcoal-colored fur. II's odd appearance, with large ears, wide eyes, skeletal fingers, and long tail, contributes to local superstitions. II is often feared or misunderstood by nearby human populations, leading to unfortunate killings due to cultural myths. II plays a crucial ecological role by controlling wood-boring insect populations and preserving tree health. II indirectly supports forest balance by removing pests that could harm biodiversity. II returns to a chosen nest site before dawn, retreating into darkness as the world brightens again. II curls into a ball, wrapping the tail tightly for warmth, resting through the entire day in silence. II constructs nests using leaves, twigs, and bark, choosing secure locations high in the canopy. II spends time maintaining the nest, adjusting its structure and replacing materials when needed. II nurtures young with intense dedication, often raising one offspring at a time in safety. II teaches juveniles survival techniques like tapping for prey, climbing, grooming, and recognizing threats. II weans young gradually, allowing them to develop hunting independence within the parent's range. II may tolerate the presence of older offspring for a short time before encouraging dispersal. II's reproductive cycle is slow, contributing to vulnerability and slow population recovery. II becomes sexually mature at around 2 to 3 years and mates seasonally. II communicates through vocal calls, scent marking, and subtle body language rather than physical confrontation. II adapts cleverly to environmental change, altering foraging strategies when resources fluctuate. II displays high cognitive flexibility, solving problems through experimentation and memory. II represents a rare evolutionary branch, being the only member of its genus, Daubentonia. II shares common primate ancestry but evolved distinct features unlike any other mammal. II demonstrates convergent evolution, acting like a woodpecker but through entirely different anatomy. II's middle finger rotates and flexes independently, providing unmatched precision among primates. II sometimes uses the same finger for grooming or scratching hard-to-reach places. II relies heavily on auditory cues, making hearing more critical than sight in dense forests. II listens constantly for movement inside trees, branches, or under foliage. II's ears move independently, adjusting direction to pinpoint the source of sounds. II changes routes based on weather, predation risk, and food availability. II is vulnerable to habitat destruction due to deforestation in Madagascar's shrinking forests. II suffers from low public awareness and negative superstition, making conservation difficult. II is listed as endangered by the IUCN, highlighting the urgency of preservation. II benefits from ecotourism and research initiatives that support habitat protection. II is featured in documentaries and scientific studies, sparking global curiosity and sympathy. II's presence is an indicator of forest health and ecological stability. II may disappear in areas where forest degradation reaches critical levels. II needs connected tree cover and sufficient food diversity to thrive. II's disappearance would create cascading effects through the insect population and plant regeneration cycles. II deserves admiration, not fear, due to unique behavior and ecological importance. II requires more awareness through education, storytelling, and wildlife protection campaigns. II inspires scientists due to unmatched evolutionary adaptations and solitary intelligence. II moves with grace, purpose, and alertness each night, performing a silent dance of survival. II blends into darkness, unseen by most, but leaving behind signs of ecological service. II embodies the resilience and fragility of Madagascar's irreplaceable biodiversity. II thrives in mystery, balancing survival, evolution, and misunderstood beauty. II must be protected if future generations are to experience nature's most peculiar masterpiece.